What is up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. This is our spot. You're hanging out with, of course,
the realest OG in the building.
na si bado tuko na ile jina moja, Haron. So, welcome back. It's been, how long has it been before we recorded? It's just a week, eh?
Yeah, just a week.
Inakaa ni kama tumekaa kidogo.
Yeah.
Because kuna nasikia ni kama nimehata watu, but
I know.
Yes.
I know. You've been well though.
I've been okay. Panda shuka za hapa na pale. Ma 1-2 nilikuwa naambiwa shughuli 1-2. So
Ma 1-2.
ma shughuli 1-2. So yeah, for me it's been life, just pushing work and all that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I've been good. Yeah, I was really looking forward to
this session.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So,
Actually, yeah, I remember now. You're saying, hey, so ngoja.
So nowadays, like CG, but aka podcast kafanya msia feel CG aje. But I hope sika like excitement ka kitu mpya, unajua the first when you're starting something new, it's like a new car, you drive it and then after a while you're like I'm tired. Yeah, but I hope we can be able to maintain that excitement, that ka thrill that comes with it.
Hata ukichoka na gari unaendaga unasema acha nibadilishe funguo kidogo. So I think for us tukifika hiyo point, okay, I'm not saying we might not get there, but I would hope that for us tukifika hiyo point we'll say, okay, mechoka na hii gari, let us find something else. As in tutafute gari ingine if you get my my metaphors, So I think for this week, I don't know, we were to catch up with fear versus faith. I'm a fear and faith. I'm a fear or faith. Iko hizo versions zote, right?
Because okay, but for me I think it's fear versus faith because it's hard. I think those things
so ulisema it's impossible for you to have fear and faith at the same time.
For me, I think they're mutually exclusive. As in, you can't have one and then the other. It's either you're fearful in this stage and then it drives your decision making. Ama you have the faith, it overcomes the fear. That's how I look at it. But last time we had a great discussion. We talked about how fear has driven some of our decision making and faith as well, and we didn't get to like delve into maybe like practical examples or scenarios of fear and faith, and actually the applicability of what we were talking about in the last episode. So I'm hoping today we can be able to tackle practical examples. I give mine, you give yours, and then the audience can be able to fully understand and relate hopefully how this topic
and also just get the question I was also asking myself and I was asking you as well, as in why is it even important for us to talk about fear? Why is it important for us to talk about faith? As in if you're looking at life in general, hizi vitu zote zina play aje, because again as I've mentioned before, we're all confused beings that are trying to get nowhere and we will finally end up nowhere. That's my summary. So I don't know, tuanze na
I think even before we go to the why, to tackle that issue, for someone who doesn't clearly understand what fear and faith are, maybe you can just tell us technical definitions.
Kisha maneno, mi unajua na vitabu na kuaga na shida. Essentially, ilibidi mpaka niende Google search kuenda tutafute the technical definition, so that if someone says hakuna, if there's something you can get here, at least bare minimum, let's give the technical definition, so that at least now we can carry on with the conversation that, hey, how do you maneuver in life as far as now these two feelings, these two emotions are concerned. So fear is probably it's that feeling that you get towards, let's say, impending danger or impending doom. Technically, mnaweza angalia pia kwa Google search, you just see what it has to say about fear. But with that, you get a feeling because you get a feeling because of an outcome. I remember last time we were talking about the door that you're opening na kuna simba. The reason you will have your feeling ya fear is because unasema I know lions eat people. So ama najua simba inaweza nikula kama iko njaa. So you would get fear because you don't want to encounter that lion. And that's just a technical example. That's probably might never happen to us because tunajua unless you're going to the wild. But now if you're talking about fear, it's in our everyday encounter that nitaogopa for example kupanda nduthi juu nimeona wanachapanga makona zingine zinakaa fani na naweza achiliwa kwa kiti nyuma or something nishtukie kichwa imechapa floor. That's another example.
So that's fear.
That's fear.
And faith.
So faith is a form of trust of an outcome. So again, we are going back to outcomes. That pale tulikuwa tunaangalia danger, now the outcome is something that you're looking forward to. So now faith is the trust that outcome would be okay. The confidence that the outcome would be okay. So ukiangalia hizo mbili, again, two outcomes.
Two outcomes. One is very positive. You're hopeful that things are going to be good, and then on the other hand, you're thinking things vitu ni mbaya. Na ndo maana tulisema hata ukiangalia explanation definitions zote mbili, it's two sides of the same coin, because one outcome is good, the other one is bad.
So and they are both battling for your attention.
Yes.
And partly for me, that's I know there's a point that you're mentioning that for you fear can't operate if faith is there. Faith can't operate is fear. So for me, okay, I'm trying to figure out a situation where I was 100% nilikuwa na hiyo confidence ya ati I have total faith, sina uoga kidogo.
Okay, for me I think it's not that you have total faith or you have total fear. It's these one is
supersedes the other. Okay.
So
mix.
If both of them are 50-50, then the one that just gets to 51%, then that drives your decision making. You're like, okay, we are going with this direction. But then if the other one is more than the other, the reverse happens. So both of them will be there. Just depends on.
Now umesema kwa hii system, there's no way we can rig it so that when we need it to be 51% faith, it will 51% faith. When we need it to be 51% fear, there's no way we can rig his system, because we're also trying to think about unaona when life happens, si ati uko na cheat codes, si ndio? Utapatana hapo na fear so kuna zile cheat codes zenye tunaweza kuwa nazo zenye tunaweza share na msee, so that in the event they find themselves in a situation where they have to decide they have to move forward as far as now life is concerned, wawe tu waseme, okay, I know here if I have a bit of faith, a bit more faith than fear, we may not, but we might get to a better outcome. Here, this is the right time to be fearful, because ile ni simba for real, na si ati nitaweza pigana nayo, unless kan kona gun, unaget?
Okay, I think, and going back to the last episode, that decision, that point where you're thinking, how do I get my fear, my faith, to just be more than the fear that is in me? Like we said, it goes back to a lot of things. Your value system, because your value system will tell you how you will approach a certain decision, and then also the evidence that you're looking at, because there are situations where, and we say we're just not walking blindly in faith.
We're not walking blindly.
We consider all options. We consider all information that we've gathered. But then, even with that information, there's a lot of uncertainty. If we could tell the future, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because if I knew what would happen,
then it's fine.
Yes, move. You see. but with the information that you've managed to gather, what kind of decision are you able to make based on that? Because there's information that you may have ikwambie by the hapa hii nao umebitiwa. But then mostly utapata information, utapata like hizo nini zote zina balance out. So bado ina go back to your value system, your attitude towards life. Because wale wase, I think people who are optimistic in life, they will tend to to be to sway towards the faith side.
If the pendulum is swinging, if your faith and I'm fear,
it will swing towards me.
Okay.
Because they are more optimistic towards life. They're thinking, okay, whatever happens, I'm expecting a good outcome, and if it doesn't come out like that, then we'll move on regardless. But people who are pessimistic, you have a pessimistic attitude, then more or less a large chunk of your decisions will be driven by the pendulum will swing more towards the fear side. So it's very tricky, and different scenarios require different analysis and different approaches to them. But I think what can help us understand that more is maybe if we just look at a few examples, practical examples in our lives. A situation where you're faced with a huge decision, life-changing decision that had to be made, and the outcome was very uncertain. So what drove you there? What made the pendulum swing
towards faith?
Yes.
Ama nini iliongeza tank ya faith ikakuwa 51%.
Yes.
Out of I'd think if it's 50-50, then it's 50. If we're saying 51 on faith, then fear inashuka 49, right? Because it's 100% for both.
And it's more or less a zero sum.
Exactly. Nothing is lost, nothing is gained. Okay. Let me share an example. This is the first time I'm the first one to share my experience. Acha tuone vile kutaenda.
Menizaya sana kila time mimi tu ndo laanza my experience, and then
I'm telling you, and then
time to prepare your own
kila kitu.
Sasa hebu tuanze.
Okay. So for me, the recent one, I'm sure you know about it. The recent one was I had to change jobs.
Yeah.
Changing jobs for me wasn't the difficult bit, but before the preparation that comes before changing my jobs was just, for me, that was terrifying, because if you look at and I'm sure most of you will relate, if you're employed, kuna ka security flani, I would call it ka blanketi that you're weathered. Unajua tu kuna ka payslip mwisho wa mwezi, you know that nikigonjeka probably kitu most nitaspend ni 200 because insurance ndio inakuangalia and all that. So I looked at my situation and I was like, hey, with the current position and the current needs that I have, there are some things I need to change. So let me try and find other opportunities. And I am telling you, that was terrifying. It was terrifying because if you all know about kutafuta kazi ingine, the things you need to look at, CV nafaa iwe imeenda shule, sijui makava letter and all that, then kuna interview bits. So just building up to that point yenye utafika kwa interviews, for me was it was a battle. And I think what made me what gave me the confidence now hapa saa yenye built the faith in me that I need to move regardless, was ilifika point and I was like, with the current scenario I have, with the current situation I'm in, I need to make changes. I'm not comfortable with wherever I'm at the moment. I just need to move forward. So it took, as in, unajua, there's an analogy, I don't know if we've used it before, but what they say, if you want to kill a frog, okay, I've heard it somewhere, I don't know, labda utanisaidia kuniambia ni nani, because you know how to quote. But if you want to kill a frog,
that is the one where you put it in water and then you start boiling it pole.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think my subconscious told me, hey, this temperature imefika moto sana. So it got to that point and I was like, now I need to change. And it was very scary for me because when you're looking at now documentation yako, you're looking at, will I be able to move forward if it's changing? I'm losing the security I have here. I'm losing my blanket essentially because now if you think about it metaphorically, kama hiyo blanket yenye tunapeana, inamaanisha you first have to take off this blanket, uweke kando, then if it's getting a new opportunity, you're picking that. So ile faith ya kuacha hii and you will get this other blanket, for me was just, that was hectic. And I think that's for me.
But I like there's something you say there about getting uncomfortable. And I think in most of these scenarios, so most people are comfortable first. So you're comfortable with the blanket that you have. It's nice and warm and cozy. You don't want to let it go and step into the cold. So most people will find themselves there. They'll stay there. Years will pass. And you never step out. But then one thing that makes people want to move, it's that discomfort that comes.
Then as in now figuratively speaking, una realize haya hii blanketi yenifuniki mpaka mguu. Ama I've noticed iko na kashimo fulani yenye upepo ikipuliza inaingia huko.
Exactly. So that discomfort is the one that triggers that need to move or to make a change. And for your case, I sense that there was a bit of that, and then you're like, okay, so we need to move. But I didn't exactly get what outcomes you are fearing on the other end.
Okay.
You see, like the lion analogy that we use. What was it death? What was it?
So okay. Now, if again we just refer to the analogies we are using, my number one fear was if I lose this blanket now, what if I lose it completely? Because essentially, for you to get to that other blanket, you have to let go of this one. So now imagine a scenario where I've let go of this blanket and that other blanket disappears. Because life happens and job processes, unaendaga na unaambiwa, my friend, no, we told you but we can't accommodate and all that. So now for me, ilikuwa hiyo uoga ya, what if I don't get? What if the grass isn't greener? What if I go there and it's worse than what the blanket is worse than whatever is currently fitting me? So for me, those are the fears that, hey, I know that the other blanket looks better, but unajua ukiangalia you can't really know until you know. Until you know. So it was a very scary time for me, and it was about 4 months of just total fear, because if you look at the interview process and all that, actually if you look at preparation all through, actually it's more than a year's work, because I took a lot of time to prepare, then I took a lot of time to just go through the various interview processes with various organizations, and now just to being absorbed and all that. Ilikuwa process ingine ndefu yenye was just terrifying, and I was like, if I could not do it again but still be in a better position, hiyo ni kitu nitasema you're okay, just let me be endeleeni na maisha yenu.
But I hear you, because I think even most people out there who are thinking about switching jobs, the fear is because already you've been in this environment for quite some time, maybe like 5 years, 6 years. You've gotten used to the people around, your colleagues, you've developed relationships.
As in there's a way. Inafika point that you don't need to communicate. You know that, hey, this is what you need to do. Do it na mnaendelea kusukuma. It had very interesting that you say that, because for me it had gotten to that point that you are just operating. Unaelewa that, as in now you're part of the corporate culture now as far as organizations are concerned.
So now you are afraid. What if I step nikiendeo place ingine? What if I find that my boss is is difficult? I'll have one hell of a time, as in my colleagues, watu maybe tutaelewana now, the culture, maybe where
work with there, as in what will I find there that I need to work on, as in how bad is it or how good is it, operations huko zinakaje in comparison to this, a lot of variables.
So those things, if you start considering all those things, and maybe where you are things are not that bad, maybe tu issue ni like those stuff, then zinaweza fanya maybe hata utake kukosa kumove. It's funny we are talking about this because last week nilikuwa naongea na a colleague of mine, a friend, and part of the reason yeye hajaifikiria hata kumove ama kuswitch jobs because where she is right now, like hakuna ati pressure, as in if for example if you have an issue you can call your boss, tell them, oh by the way, my kid is sick, I'm not feeling well, I need to go to the boss will be like, oh okay sir, take like the day off, or you can even hata kama uko job unaweza mwambia, katikati tu your job, I have an emergency, I need to step out. And from her experience I gathered that she had worked previously at a place where you couldn't even think of
asking for a day off.
Ati what do you mean a day off?
What do you mean? Mtoto wako.
Yeah, mtoto. Hakuna mtu anaweza mpeleka. Hatuna nini.
Haujajipanga na. Oh my goodness.
So, even a situation where you are afraid to even bring up that issue. It's something that is bothering, but you're afraid. The environment is
not allowing you to even bring it as an issue.
Yeah. So, but here you can bring it up. Someone will allow you. They will empathize with the situation, and then they'll give you time off. They'll give you, whatever support that they can give you. So those things, not even the money by the. She's just talking about that environment. Like that is the one decision. And apparently, even at some point, she had gotten a job offer. Better, of course, better compensation, but that decision alone, that fear of that place, I am not so sure whether I'll get the kind of
So she also took time to just investigate the culture in that other organization.
And then she was like, I am not really sure that is for me. So the culture played a big role. You see, fear of the nini. So
that unknown bit.
Yeah, that unknown bit. But you never know until you get there. Because me, if we work in the same company, for example, and Githinji here,
Bwana director, honorable mention.
Yes, I am Alvin Mwangi wants to come to this company. Maybe amepata interview, and then akitu consult, hey, so how's the nini there? Mimi maybe nitamwambia based on my own experiences, hiyo place z mimi hata sahi nimekuwa tu nikitafuta ma options nangoja tu like
right Monday na kwaga mpaka kwa text messages wananipea notification.
Exactly. But if he comes to you, then probably you'll tell him a different scenario, a different story based on experiences zako pia. Maybe you've had a good time, you've had you get along with people very well, so mwambie, hey, place by there, it's the best, as in this place I see myself retiring here, even my kids I bring them to work here, my whole clan, all of them, they have to come here. So if ataongea na wewe peke yako, then his decision
might sway
towards joining. But akiongea na wewe peke yangu,
decision
of course
like,
he won't come. But unaona, like even our own perspective ama our own experiences ni subjective, unaona, ni based on zile experiences tumekuwa nazo. So decision yake yakibase na our feedback, then inaweza kuwa a bit misleading, ama anaweza ogopa kujoin ama join, So in that case it's a bit tricky by the way, and that's why I said you need to gather. Even if you gather information, you gather it not just
you gather as much information as you can, possible. Objective information,
yes,
I think,
as you can. But then also, like, you need to have that wisdom to make judgment on this information, whether it makes sense, what you can consider, what you cannot consider. And then at the end of it all, even with all that information, uncertainty is still there. And how do we make up for that uncertainty? It's faith. We just like, okay, so let me just do it.
Oh, that's why. Let me just do it.
Yeah, let me just
because I've looked at all the variables, and I know looking at all the variables from my standpoint will not be all the variables per se. That's all the variables within my visibility, ama within my reach. Kuna variables zingine zenye I have not considered, but with that I am comfortable with moving forward. So I think that's also very important, because getting as much information as possible helps to dissipate that fear ama inasaidia ku reduce the fear that you would have, because if you think about it, analogy ya simba nyuma ya mlango, if I was to again come to you, wewe umekaa kwa hiyo kiti, you're oblivious, there's that door over there, nikwambie simba iko nyuma ile mlango, hapo of course fear yako imefika 70%, faith is 30%. Then probably you gain the courage to get closer to that door, and now you realize by the way it's true ni simba iko nyuma hiyo mlango, but actually that lion sounds like it's a recording. Umona? It sounds like it's a recording, and it's not even roaring from close by, it's far, as in zimeswap people, right? So gathering information would be a very important bit as far as now making those decisions are concerned.
So the reality that is presumed from you listening to that sound is actually not reality. Like you're saying, it's a recording. So the reality that you're perceiving, it's not reality. It's
oh yes, very true. Is what's the term? Me imepotea. But yes, it's not reality. It's probably something virtual. It's virtual, right?
It's like an illusion.
It's an illusion. Actually an illusion.
So but until you get out there, or you gather enough evidence to convince you otherwise, then you won't take that step.
Itakuwa a matter of fear. Okay, sawa.
So I think we've that aspect of my example of people losing wanting to switch jobs. I'm sure a lot of employed guys, a lot of guys with jobs are thinking of, and I'm sure hizo decision, every other day someone is thinking of, what to do, whether to go, whether to stay, and all those things. If I may just think of maybe other examples, and now we can even allow the guys to tell us in the comment section below, in scenarios gani zingine umefaceiwa na situation where like fear is maybe paralyzing you from moving, or it's even motivating you to move because it can, or vice versa. When it comes to faith is making you move, or faith is telling you to stay. So other examples that maybe even me personally I've faced in my life, I think, and I'm sure other guys, quitting a job, starting a new job, starting a business, I'd say even switching careers, like if you're in IT, and then after 5 years of doing it, you're thinking, this is it. Yes, you went to school, your folks spent a fortune to get you into this IT profession, but now you're telling them, hey, I think I need to chart a different course. So you decide maybe to even go back to school and study something else, something totally different. So it's a huge decision by there to make, and fear and faith comes in there, because you're also fearful, like, hey, okay, so where is the money coming from? Will I get a job later on? So even things like that, I'm sure there are guys who've gone through that. Getting married, it's also something that you think about, and you're like, okay, because it's a lifetime decision that you're making. Getting kids, buying a piece of property somewhere. So yeah, I think for me those are, off the top of my head, those are the things that come to mind. But like I said, guys can
chime in,
can chime in and tell us what decisions they've had to make, and they've had to balance fear and faith, and how they handle those situations in their
very true. Just share your experiences, because more or less whatever you're mentioning, pia mi naangalia nasema those are some of the decisions that I've had to make, and it has taken either it may take your confidence, ama it may take kaskia flani for me to either say yes or no, as far as again the decision tree is concerned, mpaka mahali tumefika sahi. So I think now pivoting to why really did we need to talk about fear and faith as far as now human beings are concerned, charting our course in life, moving forward, why do you think, as in, we just had to talk about it, we had to bring it up as a topic for you, as in reason gani ilikuleta ndio useme let's talk about this, because it's something that has been with me, acha nisiongee sana. What do you think from your end?
And I think even from the previous episode, Nili mentioned that nowadays I have, as I mature, I've become less fearful. And nowadays I approach things with the mentality that
confidence,
niko na confidence flani. Someone would say that I'm more optimistic, but I am still cognizant of the outcomes. They may be bad, but that will not stop me from going in and doing whatever I need to do. So I think the reason why we are doing this, and why I'm doing this personally, I want to first of all let people know it's very human to feel fearful, to be like afraid, and you're like, what do I do? Yes, it's okay, but do not let that paralyze you and make you just stay in one place and not explore. Because even if you stay at that one place, let me just say, use this metaphor of you umekaa hivi kwa field. So shall watch Final Destination. Even ataka umekaa kwa field, an open field, there is nothing. Something will just come from somewhere and hit you right in the head, and then you're dead. So
kama ni siku yako
ni siku yako. Bad things will happen. We don't know. That uncertainty, is there, but don't let it stop you from taking some of these bold decisions that you want to take in your life. And so it's okay to be afraid, but don't just sit there and be afraid. Just do it, whatever you want to do, whatever your heart wants you to do, and do it afraid. And I think I just want to give some form of encouragement to people that it's okay, just do it. Like Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Nilikuwa niseme hapo kuna
if you know,
but I like how you've modified it, because umesema just do it afraid. Because
just do it afraid. Just do it,
because either way, if it's something that will put you forward, you lose nothing. And even if you lose,
you've gained still.
You've gained still, because in failure you gain experience. Very true. Bado utasema at least I tried. More or less. Again, callbacks, guys, remember to watch the first video before you get back to this one, because easy references nimeona ma notes mingi tunarifa. So kama ujafika huko, fika tupatane hapa. Very interesting that you say that. So for me, I don't know, that's my cue.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
I didn't think I had to I had to just get it and flow with it.
For me, it's again more or less what you're saying, but most importantly, you see, it's very easy for you to think that I am the only one going through this experience. And it's very, especially, me, most of the time I'm talking about probably the people who are facing challenges and all that. It's very easy for you to think that, hey, I'm the only one who's going through this. It has never been done before. And with how communication works, especially in our societies, there isn't a lot of information around. So you will think that, I'm the first one who has ever had to change a job. Now, in reference to all the examples we're giving out, I'm the first one who has ever had to think about marriage. I'm the first one who has ever. So, as in, essentially, when making those decisions, ukiangalia vile fear you crumble mse, inaku segregate that unajiweka in your own place that you think that But I feel like if we are bringing up this conversation, at least some people will be able to at least now have that as in, unaweza look back uangalie useme, by the way, essentially it's more or less, I think it's just as well as an encouragement, but more or less hapa kile tunatry kufanya ni make people aware that, by the way, when you're making these decisions, kuna hizi strings zenye now we're talking about, which is fear and faith, that will play a role in swaying you in whichever path you're crossing. So as human beings, if you're aware of hizo strings, pia we unaweza unaelewa, you can take you can pia unaweza uchezea kivyako. So for me, just making people aware that is happening inasaidia the next person to make a decision better than they made it before. So again, these are some of the things that back then information haungepata. But sahi, at least we are able to just sit down and say, hey, have you met fear? Hey, have you met faith?
So I think we've come to the end of the conversation, but this is not the end. We'd like guys to engage us, tell us the experiences as well down there, and But for me, my parting shot would be, if you may allow me, is I'd tell people. There's this quote by Dr. Martin Luther King. So I think in a way it relates to the fear versus faith conversation. But I'll tell them this quote now. But if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, just keep moving forward. So yeah, don't let fear make you just stay in one point all your life. Yet there are so many steps that you can take and make your life better, and you can explore. So yeah, and finally, I'm a fan of Nike. So yeah,
just do it.
Just do it.
Afraid. Yeah. I think that's what I can leave guys with. So if anything, kama umesahau kila kitu yenye tumesema hapa, episode 1, episode 2, this is part A, part B.
Yeah, this is the second.
Kama umesahau yote, kumbuka, just do it. Afraid. Yeah, I think that's the best we can
we need to trademark that by the way.
Sindio? Tuongeze hapo kakoma, after Nike tuongeze koma that's afraid. Na tufunge hivyo. Yeah, so guys, that's been it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you in the next one. If you're joining us for the first time, please remember to subscribe, like, share, put a comment. Let's just engage in the conversation, as Githinji was telling us. Share your experiences. We're very interested to learn from you as well, because it's not just from us, it's from everyone. Otherwise,
till next time,
do this.